Let me unmute. Sally, are you there?
I'm here. Please show my video. Or allow me to show my video.
How do I do that?
Basically you go to video. See, you have to like go to my name and put allow show to show video.
See,
The host has stopped it. So let me give you precise.
that's weird.
Okay, I'm making you.
You have to make me a presenter or something.
Also, hi Sally. I don't know if you can hear me. It's Audra.
Hi, how you doing?
Audra's here.
Hi.
Audra's been helping me tighten up the slides.
Cool.
All right, so why can't we see you now?
Can you share a video, Sally? Is it possible?
Try it again. Yay. There you go. You did it. Congrats.
All right, I have this weird shadow like on my face.
Yeah, you do. It's like this weird, it's light. Some kind of light coming in.
Yeah, it's from
You
the
have
sun.
light, the sun.
Let me see if I can get better over here.
It's like you have a noose around your neck.
Yeah, right. All right, cool.
That was good. Yeah, it's on your shoulder, but that doesn't matter.
Listen, no one will be looking at me anyway, right?
Yeah.
Right.
All right, good. This is why we're here. Sally, just so you know,
You're probably will be here. It's like a message.
okay, so you got
Can you
that
please
for
call me
Peter?
today, question mark? Yeah, I got, Peter has a terrible sore throat, so.
Okay. All right, so I just want to mess around with these poll questions here. Audrey, you can still see my screen, right?
Yep.
I can see you, yeah.
All right, good.
Okay, awesome.
All right, let's see hot seat question number 1. All right, good. So basically to start these, I basically just I click on this and then I click. So when I click launch, all right, good, gotcha.
Yep.
Good. Sweet.
And you can share the results after you end it. So yeah.
Okay, so I can do this. I can launch. And where do I show results?
Click end poll first.
Ah,
And then it has share results there.
okay.
Yep.
All right, good. That'll be a good time filler. All right, so the can you get me to the slides again?
Me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sure. Okay, hold on. Okay, I was still need to finish getting oh my god.
Actually, Audra, we can circle back before the start. I just wanted to make sure that everybody got on. Sally, you have your 3 things?
Yeah, I sent it back to you.
Okay, but what we want to
So
do is
did Greg.
it's going to be verbal in the beginning, but when we send out the recap email that we always send, we're going to do like an enhanced, like it's going to have a link to your website and your calendar link if possible.
Okay.
Okay, so Kevin needs the panelist link.
We have it. Let me hold on. I can get him as a panelist. I don't know if he's in there. Let me add him in really quick. Yeah. Oh, gosh. All these tabs. Soon.
All right, we are way ahead of the game last year because this time last year when I held this, we were literally doing this at like 10:55.
Oh my goodness. That's insane. Okay.
But now
1 second.
Audra had left at that point, and I was left to fend for myself. The little brat went back to college.
And then I graduated and got my degree.
There you go.
Congratulations. What did you get your degree in, Audra?
Thank you.
What was your degree in? What is your degree?
Communication and digital studies, but most people understand it better if I just say communication.
That's what mine. I got the BS in communication. So yeah, good job. We're in the communication world. It's a great degree.
Audra, I just copied the link from right here and sent that to Kevin just to get him in here.
Where?
Like when I can get
okay.
Yeah, like I can copy it right here.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
That's fine. You'll have to make him a co-host when he comes in. Let me What's his email address? Is
It's-
it K Bookman?
Yes, cross
At
check technologies.
Technology.com.
All right, so what is there a way in Outlook to get these email things to shut up, for lack of a better
Yes.
word?
Yes.
Because it's
So-
like,
I just sent, Kevin should now have the link. He's in, I sent it to him.
okay. And you and I will meet after this. Like, again, we're gonna, once everybody gets on here, we'll be on here for 3 minutes and then we'll circle back. I'm just gonna leave it running, just so you know, so I don't screw something up. So Sally, will you help me keep an eye on the Q&A?
Absolutely.
All right. So if I can focus on the slides, Audra's going to be doing the posting, the SAM radar posting, the Gov brief, the ISI federal, just so people know how to reach us. I'm going to give her my calendar link. There's Kevin Bookman.
Hey, Kevin's in the house.
Greg.
Morning.
Hey, Greg. All right. So do I have to do that?
Yeah,
I-
you have to let them show their screen. Do exactly what you did with me, Rob, and then Kevin can be seen as Ken Greg.
All right. So I'm making everyone a co-host, and just so you know, I'm not shutting this off between now and 11.
Hey, Greg.
But Kevin or Greg,
Yeah,
thank you for sending me those three things.
Mhm.
Your 3 top tips. What we're going to do is we're going to integrate that into like a really nice looking document that we send with the recap. There's Kevin.
Kevin's in the
Greg.
house. Hey, Kevin.
Greg, no Kevin. I think Audra, are you still here?
I'm still here.
All right. Audra's on our click thing with me, so she's just she's going to be background, making sure things progress. I have the slide deck done. Kevin, I think Audra, did you finish his profile page?
I'm finishing typing it up right now.
All right, you're the best.
Yeah, I can see all the certifications, and it's funny because my dad works in government contracting, so it's like, oh yeah, the ISO 27017 or whatever. That's here. I'm like, yeah, that sounds familiar. CMMC. I've heard about those. I don't know anything about them, but I know they exist.
They're not important. Don't worry about it. Completely insignificant. Unless you hate making money.
And Peter and Sally, Peter will not be here today because of his sore throat.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. One more thing, and then good.
Mhm.
All right, Rob, do you want to share your screen with me?
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
can show you where to get it.
I think I am still sharing my screen with you.
Oh, yeah, great. Okay, then if you can just go to your file manager. Might already be open. Go to the one to the right, the how to go federal, yep, click on that.
Is
You're
it-
gonna scroll down. We should really have a folder for all this. Oh, we don't. Keep scrolling. Okay, stop. Do you see the one that says getting ahead of RFPs October 2023 and then I can federal Dropbox?
Right here?
The one, no, move up one. That one, yep. Yeah, it saved weirdly.
Okay.
So that's the correct one. It should have everything.
Oh, beautiful. Why do we
They
need,
got it. It doesn't, it's not gonna,
why do
I
we
won't
need,
just try to tell you that it could do anything.
why do we need to create brilliant slide presentations when we have Audra? I'm
Very good
debating
question.
whether I might want to take, actually not, I'm just so everybody knows what we're doing. All right, so these are the Slide 1, slide 2. Greg, can I throw this question over to you?
Sure.
All right. So this will be Greg. This one, do you
Should we
think?
add a question mark at the end of what just happened? Doesn't matter.
I can't edit it here.
There you go.
You know,
Do you know if you use it, or was it spending up a little bit so that it's not on top of the money? To the edge. Yep,
good.
up to the right a little.
Nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Do we, because our dates are jacked up, like down here, should I leave this on here and pull a Dave and just go to the pen and make this, etc.? Because the numbers, I don't know. I think we should get this out of here.
Yeah, because it says, well, spend it all by 9/20/23 federal contracts. So they spent it all, but it's like, okay, so it's all spent, but
But these numbers, like this should be 23, 22.
right. And then he
24.
says it starts all over again. Well, it's already started all over again. So it started all over again. You know what I mean?
Yep. So can I get rid of this slide?
Sure.
Yeah, until it gets updated, I would.
Okay. All right. So now it started.
It started all over again. Started.
Lisa, you make this S at the start started.
Right.
Okay, please, thank you.
You took the words right out of my brain.
Should I? All right.
Move it up, yeah, there, catch it on.
All right.
can
There you
go
go.
a little if you want. As long as it's not on top of the money.
That's me.
There you go. Yep,
Few questions today. Are we good with these two?
sure.
Yep.
That's fine.
I mean, that's kind of like the name of our game.
Yeah, relationship.
Add question mark at the end of known source.
Now, is that inside the quotations or outside?
Outside is fine.
Okay.
I probably have to look it up to be sure, but I think people will.
You're
do it
right. That's
outside,
right.
so.
That's correct.
All right.
Okay.
So this is pretty easy chat, but Sally, we want questions in the Q&A, right?
Yes, questions in the Q&A, and I'll say something like, please don't put them in the chat because things get scrolling and we want to make sure we capture you. So questions in the Q&A.
Okay. Raise hand. You'll be keeping an eye on that for me.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the disclaimer. All right. So this is one I just added. Connect with experts. We will connect you.
Instead of saying will, I would take out will. We connect you stronger.
Yeah, that's cool.
Rather
You're
than
gonna need to add the next slide. Yeah, that's cool. You're going to need to add the next slide to have the same kind of thing.
that's the same. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Oh, sponsors. Speaking of sponsors. All right, got that.
Wait, no, go back up, click on the text and delete will off the top, then it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing as the previous slide. But I just want to make sure that it's consistent. Cool, that's great.
Why are you here today?
Always a good question.
All right, so we do why are we here today? There we go.
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
What?
There we go. All right, I had to relaunch it because I already did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that lines up.
Do you actually want me to put the session handouts in the chat?
Yes, please.
Great. Will do.
And then when we do the I'm not going to do the winnable opportunity matrix because I can't talk through it.
Okay. It's gonna be in the chat.
Okay.
Winnable opportunity matrix, I think is the last thing in the background. We could just leave it there because it's going to be there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be, yeah.
They're not gonna know what it is anyway.
Mhm.
All right, so what's your one, now, this is a,
You have, VA procurement readiness, does that speak to that? You have, VA procurement readiness. Oh, got it, that's an example of the VA, got it.
why do we have VA procurement readiness? I'm guessing this was a slide that Dave took it from another.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to show the VA, but I don't think I think you should just say ISI federal capabilities, procurement readiness. Because they're gonna be like, this isn't VA, like I just did. You can show them the VA. So when you talk about it, you can say, this is a particular handout we did for the VA.
Okay,
That's good. Do you agree, Audra?
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. The session handouts link in chat. All right, good.
This one word description thing is interesting. Like, I don't.
Well,
Wow.
these
I have
are,
no idea what's going on with this. I don't know where, like, I get the idea kind of, but
well, this would come from the last poll question that I did. Like,
yeah.
actually, no, I'm sorry. This is when people signed up. Part of the sign up process is what's your one word description of the federal government?
Mm,
Okay. And then these are the ones that Dave gathered from one of the polls probably 5 years ago. But regardless,
mhm.
it is what it is.
Mhm.
And then here's some
Same
more.
thing here to me.
Then we go down to that's why we are here.
For what? To make that happen? To make these?
Because it's confusing. There's a lot of information. There's a lot going on that most people don't understand. And that's why we assembled a panel of experts like these fine folks, and we're going to answer all of your questions today.
Yep.
Do we
I
want
love how you have Dave crossed out. I think it's so funny.
And Audra, I do want to do a thing. We're going to do a SAM radar demo at the end.
Okay.
And we're going to do I'm going to talk to Chris about doing a discount code that says while Dave's away. I mean, he doesn't care. We're going to offer 10% off on the first 2 months of SAM radar. All right. Just
Wait,
like
can you ask Chris about that?
well, it's not.
Oh, because Chris needs it, right? Okay. Yeah, I get where you're going with it.
Okay, but we'll have to figure out some sort of like, when we see you sign up today, we'll make sure you get 10. We'll talk through that, but I'm not going to have a discount code ready today, but maybe for the rest of the week. All right, that's good. So this is where we talk about us. This is Gov Brief, game changer.
Oh, also, fun fact, I actually saw the same kind of timer that we're using in our emails in an email that I got this week.
Get out.
Like, no, seriously, it was the same timer. I'm almost positive, looked super, super similar. It had different colors, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a timer.
We have to get those. Are they going out today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I was going to talk to Aisha about that last week or like last Friday, I think, and that didn't happen. And I think we want to start going up tomorrow so people will actually see it and not be overwhelmed because today's so crazy.
Yeah. All right, there's Rafa. Here's Greg. Sally. Should I?
Here, I'll take, right click on his slide over, no, on the left.
Okay.
On the left side, it's over there, and yeah. Click on hide slide, it's gonna be 2 or 3 up from the bottom. Yep. So that means that when you're going through it, it won't show him.
All right, and then if he does show up, look at this guy.
Yeah, so Rihar, Kevin Bookman.
Kevin, that looks okay.
Good man. Looks cool.
Looks nice, Kevin.
I do actually clean up okay every once in a while.
Yeah, you looking good.
All right, so somebody else is coming in as me. So whoever that is, I need to make, co-host.
You should know who's impersonating Rob.
All right.
I would say, so do we know, we don't know if Brian's gonna be here.
We don't.
Okay, then we can just leave it. We don't have to hide it, but we know Peter is almost definitely not gonna be here, so.
And Rob, if the two people I invited happen to come in on panelists, because I sent them my link, just don't promote them. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Just don't show their face and promote them. They'll just come in on that because I didn't have the other link when I invited them.
okay. So
So,
who
but
is, who is that?
that would be Amy Coppola and Joan Johnson. But
Okay,
I sent them the invite, so hopefully they'll come on the correct link.
yeah, the one I sent you was not the panelist link, it was the registration link.
Right,
the
right.
regular.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what I sent.
But I'm gonna
But
make,
prior to that, I forwarded mine saying, hi, plan to join, but I'll send you the correct link. So I just am telling you so you're not alarmed in case they do accidentally.
Asking who the other person is, because we just need them.
I mean, honestly, Audra, I could have sent that to God
But they
knows,
shouldn't be showing up they should be showing up as themselves, not as you.
but
That means someone's logged into your account.
For Carl Slicer, I did send him my thing one time, and he was on it selling to the government, and
As you?
he was on the panelist. It was obviously he's always on camera.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, if you guys want to break away for a couple of minutes, come back at 5 of, I'll be ready to go.
Breaking. Thanks. Good job.
All right. Kevin, you still there?
Yeah, actually, is it possible to talk with your PowerPoint girl about my prezzo? I'm gonna whack a couple things out of there.
I can do it right here.
I'm right here.
Yeah,
What do you want?
just you can is everyone else doing like a cover page in their cape statement? And if not, just whack mine. You just whack the cape statement, that's fine. We'll go right into the prezzo.
Okay. Because basically what we're going to do is when we're going to send out a recap email.
Yeah.
And let me know what you want in there. But for the presentation's sake today, we're just going to be, it's going to be verbal. Like I'm going to go to you and say, hey, Kevin, give us 3 things that, like your top 3 tips for success in federal government contracting in 2024. And then when we send out the recap, we're going to do a nice document that has everyone's 3 steps, access to you, your website, your LinkedIn profile, whatever you want that to be.
Okay.
All right.
And we will also, we can do it in there as well.
All right, so I'm gonna step away for 30 seconds here, and I'll be back at 10 of, and we'll probably have people start to show up. Good morning, everyone. So far, I see we have a couple guests already. We will be starting right at around 11 o'clock, so sit tight and enjoy the Happy New Year screen. So Sally, our interaction with the icebreaker is going to be favorite NFL team. Sound good?
Ooh, I'm gonna put that in chat. So everyone here, list or add the name of your favorite NFL team.
Any Cowboys fans will be immediately booted off the presentation.
What fans?
Cowboys.
All right.
Okay.
So
Oh my gosh, I typed that before. I guess I'm out. Oh
No, I'm kidding.
no.
I'm kidding.
Oops.
But if Dave were here and somebody put in here that they were a Steelers fan, we may have somebody getting bounced out.
Panthers, no team. Love it. What's your favorite one, Rob?
Oh, the Eagles.
Eagles, of course.
I was going to wear
What Eagles?
my Eagles jersey today, but I thought that might be a little bit might be a little too much.
Okay, I just put in Eagles to redeem myself and to suck up accordingly. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We already have quite a few attendees coming in. As Rob said, please feel free to put your favorite NFL team in the chat. And also feel free to put where you're dialing in from, or where you're linking in from. Panthers, KC, nice. Maryland, very good. Kevin.
Greg, how about you? Who's your favorite team?
I am a Dolphins fan.
The Dolphins. Okay.
Dolphins, of course. Of
I
course.
was at the Giants game Sunday.
Well,
Had season tickets for about 15 years.
really?
Yeah.
Where are your seats?
Well, I hadn't been in 12,
Oh.
but I had so our seats on Sunday were 22 rows up at the 25-yard line.
Oh,
Wow.
very nice.
Exciting.
Where are we time wise? So we have 2 minutes left to go here. So what do we have so far, Sally, as far as
So we have Dolphins, of course. Thanks, Greg. We have Palm Coast, brands from Palm Coast, Florida.
see a
we have
Cowboys.
Easy for you to say.
Bethesda, Steelers, Eagles, Park City, KC, Panthers, no team, Cowboys. Good. For those who are just joining us, welcome, welcome. We'll be starting shortly. In the meantime, feel free to put your favorite NFL team in the chat, as well as where you're calling in from today.
Are we expecting Rafa? We're going to be starting in about a minute and a half.
Rafa will arrive when he arrives.
All right. Where are we? Dolphins. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Selling to the Government webinar. We're going to be getting started shortly. And as an icebreaker, we are asking everyone to tell us where you're from and to tell us who your favorite NFL football team is. If you don't have an NFL team, we will graciously accept college teams.
That was generous of you, Rob.
Has a little bit of a twist. Well, I know like in the South, college football is life, and people don't even follow pro football. So we will.
I love what Ted Lasso. Football is life. I love that guy. So great.
So Sally, we have another one of you coming in, and we're going to be getting started in about 1 minute.
Absolutely. That was one of the individuals I invited on my code. So just feel free to
Okay.
leave her as my code. That's fine. 602.
All right. So we have Kevin's here. Greg's here. There he is. How we doing participant wise?
There's Dr. Marraro.
Rafa.
I'm from Arizona, and it's Buffalo Bills.
All right. Now they lost. What happened to Buffalo the other? No, they. I don't know. I can't keep up.
And it's top of the hour.
It is top of the hour.
Here we go. Let's do this.
Like we have Irene coming in.
My name from Irene Morales to I don't know why that's happening.
I am not Irene
Your voice
Morales.
changed, Irene.
I know, right? I grew a beard.
Looking good, Irene. So do you want to promote Dr. Raphael, aka Irene, so his video can be seen?
There we go.
I will make Raphael
Also, Greg.
co-host.
Greg, you want to have Greg's
Excellent.
video be seen? Very good.
And we will be getting started very, very shortly. So folks, for all the people that have been kind enough to take time out of your day today, we are asking you where you're from and who your favorite football team is. If you don't have a favorite professional football team, we will graciously accept college football teams. Raphael, are you a football fan, sir?
I'm a yeah, I like football.
Actually, let me rephrase that. Being how you're a Cubano, are you a American football or a soccer fan?
I'm more of a soccer fan, but I love football also.
Are you a Miami Dolphins fan as well?
Well, yeah, you got to root for the home team, right? although my grandson loves the Giants, right? So he's.
We have a Maryland and the Commanders fan here. I always love to talk to the Commanders fans about Daniel Snyder selling the team and being out of there, and also the name change. I can't ever not say Washington Redskins. So we have a Falcons fan in here. Welcome everyone. I see we have about 25 attendants in here so far. If everyone could please in the chat tell us who you are and where you're from while we wait for the participants to fill in here, and we'll be getting started in a couple seconds. So where you're from and who your favorite football team is.
Tech International. Wow.
That's
Miami Dolphins. There you go.
I'm waiting to see like the Alabama, or again, folks, anyone that's new, I see we do have a lot of new people coming in. My name is Rob Lundholm. I am with the ISI Federal Team. Today's webinar is Selling to the Government. And for those people just coming in, we are asking for who you are, where you're from, and your favorite football team. It can be college or pro. I see Miami, Steelers. Oh, Jeff, I can tell you that if Dave were here, he would probably bounce you out because he is a diehard Ravens fan. Dave is actually on vacation in the Florida Keys. Very well deserved. So we can say whatever we want to about the Ravens today. Just kidding. He'll fire me. But yeah, anyway, who you are, where you're from, and your favorite football team. And I'll be starting the presentation in a couple more minutes. From Washington State, Seattle Seahawks. There you go. Boy, we get them from all over the country. Buffalo Bills, Steelers, West Virginia, LSU. There we go. Mitchell Aircraft. Hey, Brett. I think we've spoken before. All right, we'll be getting started in just a couple more seconds here as we are waiting for one more panelist. If she's not here, we will start with her shortly. Oops. All right, again, who you are, where you're from, and your favorite your favorite football team, whether it be college or pro. We started out with pro, but I realized that college football is a real thing all over the country, and we don't want to discriminate. So for starters, my name is Rob Lundholm. I am filling in today for Dave Lowe, who was on vacation in the Florida Keys. He may be popping in, you never know. I am with my esteemed co-host, the amazing Sally White, who is Echo Wolf Solutions. We have Kevin Bookman of Cross-Check Technologies, Greg Clark of DK Associates, Rafael Marrero of rafaelmarrero.com, and not sure who the last person is, but as we all know, it is Happy New Year. October starts the fiscal year all over again. Today we are going to talk about basically some insider tips to doing business with the federal government. I've asked each one of our panelists here today to prepare basically their top three. It's going to be verbal, but just so you know, this presentation is recorded. Everyone will receive a copy that will include all the handouts, as well as the 3 tips from each insider and how to reach each one of those folks for business. We are today, however, missing our one of our panelists, Peter Timbus, who was out with a sore throat. So we wish Peter the best, and he'll probably be back next month. But Sally, if you would please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Excited to be here. I've been part of the ISI team since, right after COVID, when I was invited to do the first virtual government conference seminar of its kind, webinar. And I love being here. Basically, I'm going to put my information in the chat, but I do 4 things. 1, help you align your business strategy or level it up if you need to for 2024. Number 2, really assist you in your marketing development strategy, who are your buyer personas, where you're going to connect to. Are you on brand? If you're not and you need to level up your brand, Dr. Marrero is the person to connect with. Number 3, making sure that you are having your technology connected so that you're being optimal through LinkedIn and other social media. And then last but not least, executive connections. So again, you need, and Rob will talk about this, how it's important to have SAM radar or something where you understand who's buying in your NAICS code, and then I help you with executive connections in the government as well as commercial to help you with influencers, decision makers, and the like. Happy to be here. Thanks.
Sally, thank you very much. Kevin Bookman, tell us about yourself.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Kevin Bookman with Cross-Check Technologies. We're specializing in the implementation and building of compliance frameworks for both private sector and government agencies. So things like FedRAMP or CMMC and DoD IL-45, and then also with ISO 27001, 9001, 22301, PCI, and SOC 1 and SOC 2. Thanks.
Fantastic. Greg, will you please tell us about Greg Clark and the fine folks at DK Associates? You are muted. Oh, you are still, as Dave would say, you're still mutified, Greg. I'm sorry we can't hear you.
How's that?
There we go. Good stuff.
First day using a Zoom chat, apparently. So 3 of us formed DK in 1995. There's still just 6 of us now. When we formed the company, the mission was to help contractors identify and evaluate RFPs for government contracts, and when it's a good fit for their experience and capabilities, help them put their proposals together to increase their chances of winning. And that's all we did for a long time. We've had a ton of success in that area. We've helped our clients win more than 400 federal contracts. They have a combined value in excess of $2 billion. And then around 06, we started also helping companies get on the GSA schedule, where we'd help a company win a contract with an agency, and they did a great job, and the agency really liked working with them and wanted to do more work with them, and so suggested that they get on the GSA schedule as a way of getting to them, that needing a purchasing vehicle in order to do work with them, no complete causes. So we help companies get on the GSA schedule and starting in 06, and now we're up over 450 companies who we've helped get onto the GSA schedule. So it became a second focus of ours, along with proposal assistance. And then everything else we do is in support of those 2 areas.
Thank you very much. Dr. Rafael Marrero, or should we say Colonel Dr. Rafael Marrero, tell us about what you do and how you're going to help our folks today.
He is on a coffee break.
He's on a coffee break. All right, well, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. What just happened? Basically, Greg, can you explain to us what just happened at the end of the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2023?
Well, summer is known as proposal season in federal contracting because it's the last quarter. So every agency gets a budget, and then they have to spend that budget in order to get that budget back. If they don't spend it, then the powers that be say, well, you don't need all this money. We'll give you less next year because you're not spending it all. So what typically happens is agencies kind of drag their feet all year starting in October and then realize, oh no, it's June and we still haven't awarded everything we needed to award. So then they begin to scramble as the summer progresses, and all the way up until the end of September, they're trying to award as many contracts as possible for as much money as possible, so they spend their budget and avoid losing it for the next year.
And for this past fiscal year, the federal government did spend roughly $1.7 trillion. Anyway, so Raphael, are you back yet? Are you here to join us, sir? We want to learn about you.
He's going to let me know when he's back.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. So basically now what fiscal year 2024 has officially started, and we're going to do it all over again. The objective of today is we're going to review a little bit, like Greg just talked about fiscal year end spending at the end of 2023. And we're going to talk about success or ways that your company can be successful in building federal contracting through fiscal year 2024. And as you know, anyone that's ever attended any of our seminars or events before, it's all about relationships. And we're going to teach you how to identify people in the private sector as well as prime contractors to help you with teaming and how to build the relationships. And then at the end, we're going to do a SAM radar demo, which will demo one of our products, which helps customers identify which contracting officers, program managers, and prime contractors received the back in their direct market as early as yesterday. So we'll get
let's go to Raphael now.
Okay. Dr. Raphael Marrero, or should I say Colonel Dr. Raphael Marrero, tell us about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Well, we wanted to talk about the beginning of the new federal fiscal year and the things that we can do to make things different, right? So I'm going to tell you 3 things that you should be looking at to have a successful launch in the new federal fiscal year. By the way, happy new federal fiscal year. We're well into like the second week of it already, but for those of you who are still not aware of this, it began October 1st. So first things first, I think now's the time to really look at the road ahead in the next 365 days and take a critical look at the assets that you're using to represent your brand. Okay, that is very important. Your messaging has to be consistent, has to be on brand, and it needs to be accurate. So I would say take a look at your core assets, take a look at your SAM registration, make sure that you're capturing all of the essential elements of information, make sure that the right NAICS codes are there, make sure that the right PSC codes are there, the right keywords, and then the SBA database, the Dynamic Small Business Search database, is just as important. Think of this as this is the resume that the government has within its internal database of not just your certifications, your socioeconomic certifications, but you're also looking at professional and technical licenses. For example, if you're an engineer, you should have if you're a licensed professional engineer, you should have an engineer number, right? A provider number from your cognizant location, from your state. If you have a certificate of competency from a local jurisdiction, list those on there. If you're licensed, insured, and bonded, make sure you specify the amounts and the fact that you are insured for the type of work that you provide. That's just an example. If you're in the IT business, information technology personnel are undergoing constant education, right, to keep their IT skills up to par. And so if you have ITIL, if you have PMP certification, if you have any type of technical certs that will tell the government buyer hey, I'm dealing with a competent entity here. They have the right skill set, right? Remember, it's not just about a socioeconomic certification. It's not just about, hey, I'm a veteran, or hey, I'm Black, or hey, I'm Latino, whatever. No, it's about what you can do for them to help them implement their strategy to fulfill the needs of the government program that they represent. So it is incumbent upon you to make sure you make it easy for the government buyer to conduct business with you. So check your core assets, give your corporate resume, your capability statement, a nice clean look, and see if there's any information in there that, number one, doesn't hold water or is inaccurate. Remember, just like a resume can get you fired for misrepresentation, so can a capability statement, right? If you oversell your capacities, if you're claiming skills and capabilities that you don't have, then that's going to reflect poorly on your business. For everything else, if you have any further questions in terms of how to put these things into good practice, give us a call. We offer a free consultation.
Let me jump in here, Ralph. I have a question for you. We're pursuing a project with a client, and the incumbent contractor won it as an 8A set aside 5 years ago. The incumbent SAM record does not give any indication that they are or are not 8A. Their DSBS record does not give any entry or graduation dates of 8A, yet they won it as an 8A 5 years ago. How do I determine if they indeed are or have graduated if it's not in SAM or DSBS?
Well, that's interesting, because sometimes there's a little bit of a lag between the time they're certified to where they update the database, but there should be, if they graduated from the 8A program, there should be a graduation date there. If not, then they should contact their local SBA office to get a letter from the local SBA office that they can then send to the SAM, to the tech support line there to see if they can get that updated. Those fields are very, very important. If a client of yours,
I'm talking about this is the incumbent, and this is who my client is not the incumbent. My client wants to compete against for this contract, so we want to find out if the incumbent is 8A or not.
Got it. So that should be very clearly spelled out in their DSBS profile. And if there's not, then there's grounds there for an inquiry on your part. Or you should be looking at the SBA office. And if the 8A status is a requirement, then you should be challenging that if that's not evidence, if you cannot substantiate it. Okay.
Okay. If I send Irene their UEI, do you think she would be able to find that out pretty quickly?
Yes, she can. She's actually at DMV right now, getting her driver's license updated because of her marriage. That there was a discrepancy there, so she needs to make sure that they update her name after the marriage to have the driver's license under her new name. So she's
okay. I'm done hijacking the webinar.
All right, thank you, Greg. Now Irene will be back if she gets in here today. Obviously, we'd all love to meet her because Irene's specialty is socioeconomic set-asides and SAM registrations. But like I said, I'm sure if she can get here, she will. But otherwise, you'll catch her next month. Her name and her contact information will be in the recap email that we send out, which will have a full video replay, the complete slide deck, as well as everyone's tips that we're providing today. So I'm going to move through the slides here real quick. Again, my name is Rob Lundholm. I am on the ISI Federal team. We represent ISI Federal, which is market-specific details and market intel, samradar.com, which we'll do a live demo of later on, GovBrief, as well as Quick Views. My primary thing is on the sales and customer support side. Here's my contact information. We'll get this out to you again a little bit later, but I am lagging a little on the slides, so let me get caught up. Two things we're going to answer for you folks today. How important are relationships with federal stakeholders, and how do you get to the known source? Participating is easy. We have chat. You can raise your hand. Sally's going to be monitoring that for me. We also have a Q&A. If you have a specific question, we ask you that you please don't put it in the chat because it could get caught up in the wash. The chat, we are asking folks on here, in case you're coming in a little bit late, who you are, where you're from, and your favorite college or pro football team. We started out as pro, but I realized that in some parts of the country or the world, college football is life. So anyway, again, chat, we want you to put your name, where you're from, your favorite football team. If you have a specific question, you can raise your hand and also in post any questions in the Q&A session. Disclaimer, this event is not affiliated with or endorsed by GSA or any other agency and is provided to the audience for informational purposes only. Participation in this session does not guarantee an award. Oops. Govies, this is for Govies. All participation in this briefing is voluntary, and any engagement by government personnel is not an indication of endorsement of or commitment to purchase from any vendor. Just getting that out of the way. So today we've asked each one of our panelists here to come to the table with three of their, we're going to connect you with these experts should you folks need help in their area of expertise. But we've asked each of them to bring their 3 top tips for success in fiscal year 2024. And again, these are our subject matter experts, and we're also going to highlight our sponsors and partners, of which our fine panelists are. Specifically, our primary sponsor for today is samradar.com. We help you find the 98% of contracts that never show up on sam.gov. And again, at the end of the presentation, we are going to do a live demo. It'll be open Q&A. We're going to look at NAICS codes. We're going to look at spending, etc. But for now, we're going to focus on helping you folks develop relationships, understand who you should be reaching out to, and more importantly, how to find them. So we're going to do a quick poll here. So why are you here today? And I'm going to pull up this poll here. Whoops, sorry. Actually, so we already have, apparently we have the poll up already. Let me share the results. So Sally, can you see these?
I can. Yep.
Can you see the poll results on the screen?
Yep.
Okay, so new to federal contracting, 58%. Welcome. We are considered therapists for the government contracting industry, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in our Monday roundtable sessions. We have 23% already have federal contracts. 19% are one of the primes that won an award in 2023. And actually, we got nobody called us out. Usually some nut sent me an email, accounts for about 20%. So that's pretty good stuff. So we have a really good mix of folks that are new, as well as people who are currently in the game. So that's good stuff. Let's see. We will, once again, we will be sending a recap of today's session, full video replay, my slide deck, all the handouts, and then all of our panelists are going to provide their 3 top tips. Peter Timbus, who is our finance guy, is out today. He's sick, as well as Irene Morera, who again helps our customers with socioeconomic set-asides. I'll make sure that we throw theirs in as well, just so you can have their information handy, but unfortunately, they will likely not be here today to chat. Which, yep, all about procurement readiness is one of the things Raphael's going to talk about in a little bit. So basically, in the chat, if you folks could provide to me, what is your one word to describe the federal government? And we're going to take a look at those in a second. So take a few seconds there, and again, this one's in the chat because we want to keep the Q&A separate. Your one word, daunting. I love that, Sally. This is one of my favorite things to monitor, and next couple screens we'll go through some answers from the past. So your one word to describe the federal market.
Unreachable, challenging,
There we go.
obscure, complex. Very nice. Bank. Impregnable. That's a great word.
Impregnable. Interesting.
Yep. And if you want to put the word, so when you click on your chat, can they chat with everyone, Rob, or just the hosts and panelists? So we're seeing their words come in. Okay.
I believe I have it.
Some people are coming in with hosts and panelists, and some people to everyone. So I want to make sure that.
How do I fix that?
Everyone. Otherwise, I'll just read them off.
Yeah.
It just says hosts and panelists. Okay.
All right.
Huge but efficient.
Let's
No
not
worries.
hang it. Yeah, it looks like they're all coming into the hosts and panelists. So to make that easy, we'll look at, these are some of the ones they'll probably cross-pollinate into today, but some of the words that we've heard in the past. And we like to do this to kind of get a gauge of what our audience actually feels of the government contracting industry. We know it's painful. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. But at the end of the day, the government awarded contracts to 116,000 different companies last year, and the average government contract was over $5 million. So in my world, if someone said, hey, you have to invest a little bit of time and money to get to a $5 million annual revenue stream, sign me up every day. So just to go through some of our past answers: massive opportunities, unbalanced, that's a good one. Hard to get business with set, hard, okay, got that. Bigger businesses, open market opportunity, difficult, huge layers, opportunity, some good ones. Awesome, challenging, chaos, that's a good one. Disarray, responsibility, opportunity, big potential, difficult to find the right people. Not difficult when you know where to look. And again, we'll touch base on that later on. Disjointed, complex. Greg, can you chime in on any of these that jump out at you?
Nothing. Well, they're all right. And everybody, I feel like the more experienced people are, they have a different impression. The people that are new to government contracting, you're going to get words like overwhelming and complex and impossible. And, until you break through and you figure out how to work those relationships, those are the words you're gonna see, and justifiably so.
Well, one of the Kevin Bookman and I speak pretty regularly about cybersecurity. Kevin, can you what's the general public consensus about the government's view on cybersecurity?
Well, that's a heavy question, because cybersecurity is basically at the forefront. There's the latest iteration, or the latest direction from the government, is to go to what they call zero trust architecture, and it's basically removing as much risk as possible for folks who have to authenticate into an agency, and that includes both management, operational, and technical controls and solutions that are needed and necessary to make that to make zero trust work. However, as Raphael kind of mentioned earlier about training when he was speaking, if you don't have the appropriate training in place, or your training of your personnel is not consistent and thorough, it doesn't really matter, because while humans are the greatest and most appreciable assets that an entity can have, they're also typically the vector for risk. So from there, it's super important for entities or companies to realize that when doing business with the government, you want to make sure that your solution, whether it's an application or some sort of information system, or a machine, is as secure as possible, and then all your personnel understand that you're there to protect both your company proprietary data and the data of the United States government.
Hey, Kevin, real quick as a sidebar, one of my favorite stories ever is when you were testing your company's level of what's the word I'm looking for?
It was the phishing email.
Phishing email. Tell that story real quick. That's a great.
So I was with a company a few years back, and we ran phishing about every quarter, phishing campaign every quarter, and basically it was an email that said, if you respond to this HR review, you'll get a Starbucks gift card. And basically, in order to get into that quote unquote review, you had to present your credentials. And typically from a cyber perspective or a IT security perspective, you want to have less than, depending upon the size of your organization, less than 10% of the people fall prey to that. Ideally you want to have zero, but that's just unfeasible and unrealistic. Well, we had a handful of people that submitted their credentials, and then we had people that changed their password, and then we had a couple of people do it 2 or 3 times, but we had one person who was senior in the organization who did it 7 times. So they submitted their credentials and their password 7 times to try to get this. Now, the cool thing is that the company didn't have an HR department. They were called talent development and not HR. So there's a lot of things wrong with the email that people just didn't see in terms of the structure of the email. It wasn't signed by anybody. There wasn't a a signature block in the email. So that was one of the things, or that is a potential area that people can do, is put in a signature block, although it's not, it's not a panacea. But if you have a signature block in the email, you can say where it's coming, and then, hey, just look at the actual delivery email and see, is it coming from, Kevin.bookman at, crosschecktechnologies.com, or is it coming from HR at 54321, boink at gmail.com. And if it's coming from there, that's typically an indication that that's a phishing email, and you should probably just delete it.
And what you specifically excel at are helping companies protect them from themselves, basically, right? Putting processes in place, and everything related to cybersecurity and zero trust architecture. So again, we do have a slide coming up for Kevin's contact information. So if you are worried about phishing or security, etc., Kevin's our guy for that.
Rob, do you want to answer some questions, or do you have a special place in the presentation?
Oh, no, if we have questions, we are taking them as they pop up. So Sally, lay it on us.
Sounds good. Shelley Tucker says, I've applied in May for EDWOSB certification, and I'm waiting to hear back. As of now, it's on my CAPE statement. Do I need to take it off until I get certified? So sounds like a question for Dr. Marrero, or?
Yeah, so, okay, so I missed the first part of the question. But
I'm sorry. She says,
okay.
have I applied? I have applied in May for EDWOSB certification, and I'm waiting to hear back. As of now, it is on my CAPE statement. Do I need to take it off until I get certified?
Yes and yes, and I'll tell you why. Okay, any misrepresentation of a small business concern status is grounds for termination from the program. You can also be excluded from government contracting and participating in programs. What you need to do is apply the verbiage that you are self-certified under socioeconomic certifications, and you may want to put down, just in the socioeconomic status, that you're a woman-owned small business and economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, and say include the term self-certified. Okay, very important, because you can self-certify as such, and that's how it will appear in your DSBS profile, and also the USAspending.gov. But do not use the SBA logo. Do not imply that you are certified.
You can basically self-certify with the understanding that your application or your actual certification is in process.
You can in no way, shape, or form imply that you are, or use the SBA logo, because that will have severe penalties attached to it.
Interesting. Great information.
Raphael, thanks. And then someone would like you to put your information in the chat, please.
Sure.
That'd be great.
Okay. Be very happy.
Another one from Mike Labuda says, are you able to enable closed captions?
If someone can walk me through that process, I would be more than happy to enable closed captioning. I don't know how to do that.
Got it. So Mike, if you know how to do that, send instructions to the panelists.
Now,
and continue. Those are the questions we have currently in the chat, so we can continue on.
Okay, so basically, I'm in the. If I say show captions, that will show the captioning, correct?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, I did enable that, so hopefully it does populate for those that are seeing it. So basically, the items that we just reviewed, that's why we're here. We are a panelist of experts that help folks do business with the federal government. Kind of happy to see that there's a lot of newbies on board today, so that you know what to expect. One of the most important things that we talk about on a regular day-to-day basis is government contracting is not easy. A realistic expectation for you to enter the government contracting space, be awarded your own contract, 18 months to 2 years. That is a very realistic expectation. Working as a subcontractor to a company that already has contracts in place, that's a 3 to 6 month process. But again, if someone approached me and said to me, hey, this government contracting thing is real, it's not easy. They don't call you back. They don't return an email. You have to keep staying ahead of them. You have to tap them on the shoulder every couple months. You have to reach out to them, email, phone, LinkedIn, handwritten letter. We're going to get to Sally on LinkedIn in a couple minutes, but it's not easy. But again, if someone told you have to invest 18 to 24 months of your life to get to a $5 million contract, most people would do that. We talk to people every day that think that for whatever reason that they're going to be the person that comes into this market and gets a government contract right away. And it's hen's teeth. It's really, really, really hard to do. But again, that's why we're here. Set expectations, point you on the right path, and show you some solutions towards the end. Whoops, wrong one. Again, Dave Lowe is on vacation. He's normally the host of this. He is probably has his feet kicked up on his third margarita right about now, but for today. Basically, we'll talk about the ISI Federal brand. We have been helping companies since 2009. This number is approaching 600 million direct and indirect federal sales. We have market intelligence, 64 plus million federal contacts, 1.2 million federal contracts. I'm sorry, 1.2 million contacts, 3.1 million vendor contacts, program managers, active buyers. We do federal marketing support, buyer engagement program, and we have the advanced monitoring platform, which we'll talk about later with Sam Radar. I'm not going to go through these. Basically, our primary sponsor today is Sam Radar, and again, Sam Radar does help folks that find the 98% of government contracts that never hit sam.gov. Again, when we get to the later presentation, we're going to show you that for all of fiscal year 2023, roughly 1.34% of contracts that were awarded hit sam.gov. So if you're monitoring sam.gov, you're basically seeing about 1% of the market. So 99% is going through completely legal, and we'll talk about the processes a little bit later. But if you're monitoring sam.gov, you're seeing a very small sliver of the market, and that very small sliver is available to a lot of people to see and view. So it's just incredible competition. And again, we'll show you that a little bit later on, but just wanted to spell that out. We also have sam.bid if you just want to monitor sam.gov, and Quick Fuse is a direct link to GSA eBuy. Dr. Rafael Marrero, here's his contact information. Again, everyone will get the complete slide deck with everyone's contact information. Greg Clark. We have Sally White. Sally, Kevin Bookman, who we met. Sally, I'm going to come back to you in a second. Brian Hebels, one of our associates, he could not make it today. Next poll question we're going to go to here is, I'm sorry.
How important are relationships with federal stakeholders?
Whoops, I posted the wrong one. I did the wrong one.
No worries. You're doing great, Rob.
Hot seat question number 1. There we go. No, that's not the right one. But all right, so our slides and our polls are not in alignment. So we're going to go off the polls. And the poll question is, how do you get a direct sole source contract award? Why is it not letting me launch? Oh, is that available for everyone to see?
Right now we're seeing how important are relationships with the federal stakeholders.
Okay, good. Do you see an actual poll on your screen?
Nope.
I see. Did you see that 75% of awards had zero competition? I would like a free NICS report. So this is 6 of 42.
6 of 42. Jeez.
That's the number. That's the number of respondents.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Did you know about the 98% not hitting sam.gov? There's 3 questions.
All right, where is that? That's not it.
That's if you click poll.
Okay,
if you click polls at the bottom.
Okay, so I'm on. Oh, I chopped this up pretty bit. All right, we are going. All right, so okay, so I do.
So can you click on polls and then just click the launch button?
Actually, no, I had the wrong. So basically the one that I'm seeing right now, and I apologize, folks. I'm very new at this poll thing. Did you know about the 98% not hitting sam.gov? And this is fantastic because we have about an 86%. No, I'm sorry. A very good response, about 1442. So it's only 6 out of everyone polled knew that that 98% never hit sam.gov. Some knew that they were missing, some others don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, stick around because again, we're going to dive right into the data. Sally, you monitoring the chat and the questions there for me?
I am monitoring the chat. And just so you know, people have weighed in that their poll did say, did you know about the 98%? So
okay. All right.
Hey,
so
Rob.
Yes,
Rob,
sir.
The information and brand that you have for me on the presentation is completely inaccurate. So I'm gonna put my capability statement and what we do for a living on the chat so that others will know exactly what we do.
Okay, and then when we send out the recap, we'll make sure that that has the correct information. Because
Thank
the recap goes out to all 4,000 registrants, and we have 40 some here today. So
That would be great, because that brand's been out of existence for a while. Yeah. David has the updated info. Yeah.
all right, and I'm going to softball you a quick question here. So can you deal with interaction with federal buyers and marketing every single day? Can you back me up on the realistic expectation of a time frame for your first direct federal contract?
Okay, it varies from product to professional services, first and foremost. Let me turn my camera on. Okay, so the answer to that is it depends. It depends if you're selling a product, okay, how complex of a product and whether or not it's a commodity or an integrated systems integration product, so to speak. If it's a professional service, the life cycle is a lot longer because there's other components there, such as past performance, etc. On the product side, if you have a viable supply chain, if you don't have any supply chain constraints, if you're not financially stressed, if your numbers look good and you look healthy, you have a balance sheet and everything looks good, the chances of landing a product-driven commodity type product, typically 9 to 12, sometimes 16 months for a product. Okay, so meaning that if you start now, there is a chance that in the summer of next year, which is the Q4 of the new fiscal year, okay, you will be able to close deals and get year-end purchase orders. That's one. Number two, if it's a solution, okay, and here's, if you're a systems integrator, if you're an IT shop, and the type of work that you're competing for requires security clearances, well, then you've got a long road ahead of you, because aside from the Department of Defense Form 254 and getting a provisional top secret or secret clearance, there's a backlog for those. So you're looking at 2 years before you get that. But assuming that you are procurement ready, contract ready, and have a great relationship with the contracting office and with the program managers, right? The end users like you, and they're considering you for a prime award. I would say you're looking at on the services side, you're probably looking at 18 to 24 months. That's the reality. Okay. But product, especially when it's a commodity, such as subsistence, how they call it. And for example, the Bureau of Prisons, here, let me give you an example. The Bureau of Prisons buys everything from halal meat to kosher salt, right? They buy milk, everything, you name it, right? So the chances of selling like on a smaller item, a simplified acquisition, are very high. And you can probably do that in the first year, assuming that you've got your supply chain in place and your procurement ready and ready to go, right? If it's a technical solution, if it involves security clearances, if there's multiple vendors, if they require a BPA, in which case you would need to work with Greg, or a GSA schedule, then it's a longer ramp up. I mean, that's the reality. It's because there are hurdles that you need to clear before getting there. It's not,
and it's about risk too, right, Rafael? When if you're selling a product that everybody knows, you're not risky because the product exists. It's not something that you're manufacturing and offering, as opposed to a professional service. And that's why, coming back to this question, how important are relationships with federal stakeholders? Well, if there's risk in what you're offering, which, as we just said, they're not if it's an established product and you're a distributor of something that everybody knows about, then it's just going to be a matter of who has it for the lowest price, right? But if you're offering professional services, then you're an extremely risky option because they don't know who you are.
That's right.
So
engineering services, for example, that's high risk. So if I can add to that, Rob, and just basically what Greg said, right? Vendor management and supplier management is all about third-party risk management, right? This is what I've done for a living for many, many decades. So you need projects to be delivered on time, scope compliant, safely, and on budget, right? Those are very important categories right there. I add safety because in construction, safety comes first, right? If you rush and get a job done, but somebody has an accident, then your EMR rate is going to go through the roof, and you're going to be deemed a not safe vendor, right? That cannot deliver safely. And that's important. Safety comes first. So quality and safety are very important. Timely delivery of the product or service, and budget compliant, right? So I'm not going to risk my career hiring a vendor that I don't know, because I don't know them. I can't trust them. I don't I don't trust them. I don't know. I don't have enough information about the vendor to make an informed decision, right? That is why relationship building is so important. This is not just a transactional matter, folks. If you're in government contracting, you're thinking about your next paycheck, this is not the market for you, right? This is more of a long-term play, but you need to get your ducks in a row. You need to get everything lined up, get all your marketing materials, develop relationships, and you know what? Elbow grease. You got to knock on those doors, develop credibility in the eyes of the buyer and the members of that team, like the program managers. You gotta earn their respect. That's the bottom line.
Now, can you walk us through the establishing contact with the contracting officer? I know you were on the procurement side for a long time, and just what, because a lot of people come back to us and say, hey, I called this guy a couple of times, I sent him an email and I didn't hear anything back, so I guess he's not interested. Can you walk us through what the life cycle is of the relationship directly with the contracting officer?
There are differences between the business to consumer, business to business, and business to government model in terms of touch points, right? Greg can attest to this. You can sometimes have 8 to 12 touch points before you initiate contact with a government buyer, no matter how organized you are. I mean, and this is best case scenario. So let's say that you've got your script, you've got your own spreadsheet or CRM where you're logging all these calls, and you know exactly how you're going to address them, right? The top 3 things you're going to say. Chances are it's going to take you anywhere from 8 to 12 attempts before that first contact is made. So you need to be consistent, you need to be reliable, and you need to decide whether or not you want to leave a voicemail or if you're going to follow up with an email. And whatever you do, don't just resend the last thing you sent them and say, hey, any word on this? Because that's irritating, actually. When someone does that to me, it really irritates me, right? It shows no genuine interest in developing a relationship. Now, when I see someone sending me a sequence of emails that are well thought out, that address the key points, I say, there might be something here. I should maybe return this guy's email and have a call with them and maybe see if they can shoot their capes my way, right? That's the first thing. And they do, and then they pass that first sniff test, and I get the capability statement, and I go to their SAM profile, I go to their DSBS, I check out their website, I look at if there's any CPARS information, I do my due diligence, right? And I said, okay, looks like it might be worth talking to this person some more. I do have a requirement for this, and we're going to be doing a sources sought soon, and I need vendors in this category. So let me go ahead and ask them to contact the whatever officer to set up a capabilities briefing presentation, right? That is what you should be prepared to do. Always look at this as a cadence, have a sequence of emails carefully crafted, be brief, be precise, be to the point, and have a good, strong capability statement that will get you that first interview. When you get the first interview, you want to have an ironclad, top level, high impact capabilities briefing. You don't want to do death by PowerPoint. You want to have a finite number of slides that expand on your 6 essential elements of information. And at the end, you close them on the next steps, right? Which is, hey, I want to be invited to bid on an opportunity. So submit an unsolicited proposal, in which case I would say, let's get Greg on the line. Let's have him help you out, right? If you get some feedback from that first briefing, like, hey, you may want to work on this or that, you can come back to us and we'll help you with that, right? And if you're going to form a team, or if you're going to be someone's teammate, you're going to need a teaming agreement, a mutual NDA, and a subcontractor agreement document ready to go on your paper, right? So these are things that you should have nailed down, organized, and sequenced so that it doesn't become an objection every step of the way, right? Once you get invited to
Can I
that
just
first
add?
team,
I'm sorry, apology. Go ahead.
once you get invited to that first team, you need to have your risk management framework in place. You know, who's going to do what? Who's going to be your proposal manager? Who's going to be your finance person to do the bidding? All of that you need to figure out so that you can deliver your best and really impress your prime contractor if you're coming in as a sub. You're also
there's some little key terminology,
Yep.
important aspects, you know, because the question is how important are our relationships with federal stakeholders.
Yep.
Rob asked you, how do you speak to contracting officers? I don't tell anybody to speak to contracting officers because they don't identify need. Having a relationship with a contracting officer, you know, that's not important to me. I want to have my clients have relationships with the end user, the people that determine what the agencies need, because they're going to understand the product. Kevin would probably agree. You know, when you're talking to somebody about cybersecurity services, you want to be talking to the person within the agency who's the chief technical officer or whatever it is. You know, you don't want to be talking to a contracting officer about it because they don't decide what gets purchased for that agency. So it's who you need to develop those relationships with, and I think it's with the decision makers in the agency. But also, if you're new to government contracting and you don't have those relationships, you're not getting those meetings because they don't know who you are. Then, like you said, relationships with prime contractors, and hopefully you're going to have a role on a contract as a sub where you're interacting with the customer, so you develop that relationship both ways. And it's with the prime that's bringing you on as a sub, but you're also interacting with the agency, so they develop that relationship there, and that's how you grow from a sub into a prime, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple, let me just interject, gentlemen. Yeah. There's a couple questions from our esteemed attendees. And one of the questions, may I read them now, Rob? Is that good?
Yep.
Absolutely. So one is from Gary, and that's how do you even get the first interview? And then we'll address that. And then we have another question about the contracting officer. But I do want to, we have about 10 minutes, a little less than 10 minutes left. I do want to emphasize the importance of connecting with the senior level executives if possible. And you can do that on LinkedIn. So I won't go into that now, but that's a very essential part. So as Dr. Moreau said, and as Greg said, you're working in parallel. So the executive level, as well as the influencers and the contracting officer and the buyers. So go ahead and let's address this particular question. How do you even get the first?
If I can interject real quick, my natural instinct is to say contracting officer, but obviously in the hierarchy of contracting, government contracting, the program managers and the contracting officers representatives are the ones that boots on the ground. They're the ones that are out seeking the bids. And from what I understand, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, the contracting officer basically sets the expectations and signs off and is there to handle any issues or disputes. So, and just so we know, and I apologize for that, it's really the program managers, contracting officers, representatives who are the ones you are dealing with. And if you guys can elaborate on that a little bit, that would be just clear the air a little bit. And I apologize for that. So Raphael, it's basically like when the customers that we're dealing with today, and again, a lot of them are new and are entering this might be the first time they've ever heard anything about government contracting. And some people learned today that very little of what's awarded shows up on sam.gov. So if one of you can talk about the hierarchy of the contracting officer and where is the best place to start when we're reaching out to an agency cold?
I think it has to be a multi-pronged approach, right? The contracting officer's job is to basically sign contracts and transact business. There must be a proper segregation of duties to avoid conflicts of interest. So the government has a program manager or end user in a specific agency, and they, you know, those are separate from the contracting officers. But those are points that where you must influence and touch, right? So you need to have a relationship with the contracting office because they put out the solicitations and the invitations to bid and also the sources sought. But you need to have a multi-pronged strategy where you're talking to the technical representatives and the contracting officers, the program managers, right? And also the prime awardees in case they've already been there and they could use you as part of their small business subcontracting goals and plans. So there are 4 or 5 individuals that you need to approach or categories, I should say, right? It's a multi-pronged approach. There's the contracting office that signs the contracts, and the contracting officer, technical representative, the person that the individual that evaluates the technical abilities or correctness of your solution, right, or your skills and all that, and kind of pre-vets you out. Then there's the small business liaison is typically the person responsible for that agency to go out and seek small business participation, and they advise you on the long-term acquisition forecasts, right? Long-range acquisition forecasts of what's coming in the next 5 years, right? And the good thing about that is you'll figure out who's the prime, how much was the previous award, who the contracting officer was, and all the essential information that you need to start compiling, which you can of course get through SAM Radar, right, to begin with. So have a plan in place to have multiple touch points. You're going to have the program managers and the end users, right, in the agency, right? These are the people that can say to the contracting officers, you know what? We like the way these guys think. We like to see if you can bring them in for a briefing. You know what I mean? So go for a briefing with the program managers and strut your stuff. Show them what you've got, right? At the same time, you should be reaching out to the contracting office, right, to say, hey, we're interested in this. We're going to do an unsolicited proposal. Here's our capability statement, and here's where we can help you fulfill some of the, kind of address some of the pain points that we've addressed in our conversations with the program managers, right? Because those are going to be requirements in the near term, right? So when you've got a good flow going between program office and contracting office, right, that's always a good thing. Now, suppose there's a prime involved, there's an incumbent, and they have good ratings, they're not going anywhere, but you cause a great impression on the program office and the contracting office. They might say, you know what, you may want to talk to these people about potentially becoming a subcontractor to them as a way to get your foot in the door, right?
And real quick, Ralph, if you could touch on the big guys and any prime contractor in today's government contracting world, the need for small business partners and how that relationship will work.
So I would love to address that, having attended about 10 conferences where I'm with all of the primes, Navy Gold Coast, Sea Air Space, etc., security conference. So the prime contractors are receiving, $15 billion contracts, lesser contracts, and they're very interested in talking to businesses like yours in order to not only meet different requirements, but also through innovation. And there's somebody who's actually on today. I'm not going to bring her up now. She's going to present later, but she managed all of Nav Air. So she had a 6,000 person organization, $2 billion budget, and she knows exactly what people need. And so in addition to all of the important information on SAM Radar and the information that Dr. Marrero gave, I can't stress the importance of connecting with 3-stars, connecting with executives if you can at conferences, because those individuals, in other words, they will help you as an influencer perspective, wade through the myriad of challenges and getting to who you need. And so I just wanted to reiterate that. So prime contractors are super expensive. So we have about 3 more minutes. And I don't know if you want to, Rob, wrap up with anything or answer any final questions, but out of respect for all
let me just put something on the end of that, Sally.
Please.
Because an anonymous question posted was kind of what you were talking about. What about small businesses looking for primes? I mean, you can look at contracts that were awarded. If you have your whatever bid notification service you use, look to see what was awarded in your industry, and then put together something to send to those companies and say, I saw this, you had this contract awarded to you. I've read the statement of work, and there's some areas in it that we can provide support to you if you have in that area. But that's how you can find primes that may need subcontractors.
Yep.
And that's all great information. We always plan to get this out of here by 12 o'clock, and we're a couple minutes before that. If anyone is interested in sticking around to learn about spending in their market, SAM Radar, how SAM Radar helps you find the 98% of government contracts that never hit SAM.gov, please stick around. But I want you to go through each one of the panelists here today and close us out with why our customers, most of them new, should be reaching out to you folks for your help. Sally, take it away.
So first, I just want to give my tips. I didn't know when I was supposed to say that. So one is update or create your 2024 business strategy so you can align your brand objectives, with your business goals. Very, very important. Number 2, level up your LinkedIn profile, business page, website to reflect your brand story and your superpowers. And then identify and connect with actionable influencers, decision makers, buyer personas in your target market. Happy to assist. All of us here, happy to assist. We give free consultations if we can add value to you in any way we can. And I put my information in the chat. Thanks so much. It's been great to meet all of you. We had up to about 50 attendees today. So thanks.
Excellent. Greg, take it away. How can you help our customers?
Well, if the company you work for sells something that the government buys, we should probably talk. Whether it's going to be purchased through an RFP, or it's going to be purchased through the GSA schedule or some different contract vehicle. That's what we've been doing every day for 28 years, is helping companies respond to RFPs, get on the GSA schedule, get onto other contract vehicles, things of that nature. So contact me if that's of interest to you.
And Raphael, in closing, sir.
Yeah, not all marketing is created equal, and federal government contracting requires a very unique skill set. If you need help getting your value proposition across or communicating effectively, give us a call. We can help you develop your assets, polish up your image, and also coach you on how to talk to my former counterparts as a senior level procurement executive.
And just again, to reiterate, there will be a recording of everything that we covered today, slide decks, capability statements of all the subject matter experts that we have today, as well as top 3 tips from each one of our subject matter experts, as well as Peter and Irene. So I'm sorry, Kevin, take it away. How can your services benefit the folks that are on here with us today?
Yeah, right on. So if you're looking to do business with the federal government, or you're just a commercial entity who needs to add security compliance to your entity, please reach out to me. I'm well versed in a number of different security and compliance frameworks, both at the federal level and private sector. There's some cross-pollination between both of those. So please do reach out. It was great to be on the panel today. Thanks, Rob, and thanks for everybody for attending today. Closing 3 tips: be secure, protect your data and your personnel, and make sure you've got solid IT security education for your employees.
Excellent. So again, to round everything out, we have the data. Well, I always say that we have the contacts, we have the primes, we have the information, we have the contract history. However, if the need for services beyond our expertise are needed, obviously the folks that are here with us today are available to kind of walk you through. Sally, obviously, with outreach, connections, etc. Greg, contracts, GSA schedule, etc. Raphael, direct marketing, and Kevin with security. So again, if anyone's interested, I'm going to stick around for another 20 minutes. We're going to dive into fiscal 2023 year spending, and we're also going to look at how SamRadar analyzes all that data and points the finger at the contracting officers, the program managers, and the prime contractors that need your help as a subcontractor. So that's it for today. We've all posted our contact information, our phone numbers, email addresses in the chat. Again, all this will be coming to you on an email. And if anyone is interested in sticking around to learn more about SamRadar and spending, I'm going to pick that up in about 30 seconds.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the week.
Sorry, guys. I did my best to get through all these slides, but it was a fire drill. So let's get out of here.
You did a great job.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and then we're going to pick up the SamRadar piece. And I'm right back on here. Audra, has she been there the whole time?
I've been here. I've been waiting and watching. And
I didn't even know that you were on the panelist list, but we are.
I got in because originally when I got in, I could only send stuff to the hosts and panelists, and I was like, I'm supposed to be sending links, which I didn't end up doing because you didn't ever say we're gonna have the things for SamRadar in the chat. And I was like, I don't know if I should.
I botched the poll questions. I botched the slide deck.
The slides are less important, I feel like.
Yeah,
I don't think you botched the slide. I don't think you botched the polls. For some reason, the polls are coming up on my instance of Zoom. And I was like, I could launch them. And I could launch them. So it popped up on my screen. They said like, oh, here, oh, it's closed. Oh, you can relaunch it.
All right,
So-
well, since we're still live and there's folks listening in, let's jump right into what we're here to learn. So again,
Great.
the Q&A is still wide open. Audra, if you would be so kind as to monitor the Q&A for me. Kevin, you're going to be chiming in as a current SAM Radar user. But what we wanted to get into with the primary focus here is understanding how the government spends our tax money and understand how to leverage that information to turn it into contracts, you know, obviously for ourselves. So this is a fiscal year 2023 spending summary. This does not include anything within the last 3 months posted in the Department of Defense, but for the most part, we want you to understand that for the entire fiscal year 2023, the government posted 140,266 contracts on SAM.gov. Those are open for bid, fair game, a little sliver of the market, viewable by a very large percentage of the people that are interested in government contracting. Okay, so contrary to the 140,000 opportunities that were posted for bidding, there were 10.45 million contract awards and contract actions posted on fpds.gov. If we take that 10.45 million number to the next level and we dive into the competitiveness of those contracts, 75% of those contracts, 75% of 10.45 million were awarded with only one offer. Even if we push that out to 5 offers or fewer, that accounts for 86% of the market. So when we see something that has 5 offers or fewer, that never went public and it never hit SAM.gov. The way that these contracts are awarded is contracting officers have a short list of people that they want to bid on certain things. They can write an RFP and an RFQ really any way that they want, so that it doesn't have to post on SAM.gov, and that very few people can even bid on it to begin with. And all this and all these numbers of only sending out a few contracts are based on relationships. You know, if you know a contracting officer and you have a relationship in place and they want to work with you, they're going to find a way to write an RFP so that it doesn't go public and so that you can get it direct, or you have very little competition. I don't know how many of you are familiar with blanket purchase agreements, IDIQ, which is indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity. These are all contract vehicles where the government can buy your product or service at a set rate over and over and over again. They don't have to procure, you don't have to compete. And if you're in that situation, everybody wins. Our job today is to identify who the people are associated with these contracts so that you can reach out and again, start to build the relationship process. So I do see a question in the chat here. Oh, that's for Raphael. Okay, we covered that one. All right, so I'm going to look at some NAICS codes here and what this report does. Audra, can you post the link to this report that we're viewing in the chat?
I don't believe I actually have that, unfortunately, but we will make sure to add it in the recap.
Okay, if you go to SAM Radar, actually, if you can go to samradar.com under resources and the spending report, like it's the top one for the fiscal year end, and you can just grab that link to sign up.
All right, I'll add that in the chat.
Okay, excellent. So basically, when you sign up for the report, Audra's going to post a link to it. It opens up to look just like this. You enable editing, and you can go down to these tabs on the bottom, and we learn that this is spending by agency. The Army was the top, 246,000 contracts, $186 billion. Then the Navy, Air Force, right on down the line. The next tab I like to look at is, whoops, what did I do here? I have a filter set here that I forgot to erase, sorry. So this, when we open this up under the NAICS code, we see that the top NAICS code was engineering, I believe. There we go. Engineering services, 541330, a very, very, very broad NAICS code, which includes everything from sanitation engineer right up to rocket propulsion, etc. This is, again, where our services come into effect, helping you dissect a large NAICS code as such and understand how to find the people that are associated. This report does allow you to, if we wanted to search for, let's say, randomly, Let's type water. So if our NAICS code has to do with water, and we have a couple customers who are, again, I hit this drop down arrow here, and in this search box, I type water, and this system will tell you every NAICS code that has the word water in the description. So obviously water and sewer, water supply, water transportation, etc. So this helps you make sure that you understand if the government's buying your product, and more importantly, how they're buying your product. So, you know, this, when we set up a search, we want to make sure that we're integrating all the appropriate NAICS codes. All right. The next thing, one more quick thing. For those that don't know, and I know we do have a lot of new people on here today, NAICS stands for North American Industry Classification System. It can be semi-broad, with engineering as an example, where there's a lot wrapped into the one NAICS code. Some people and other people are not aware that there are PSC codes as well. The NAICS code, again, is the industry. PSC is the product or service code. But the PSC codes are generally much more specific. So, you know, like you can search for, if we go to PSC code and we do the drop down here and we search water, you see that there are pages and pages of NAICS codes surrounding water. Again, that's just a random word that popped into my head, so I figured I would type it in there. That's Raphael. A couple of questions in the chat. Audra did post a. Am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I am sharing my screen. Okay, so Audra did post in the chat the link to access this report. So if anyone's interested in accessing this report, download it. And you'll be able to filter through this, and again, understand the summary. Yes.
I think that this is the most recent one that we have available on SamRadar on the website right now.
Okay.
But I believe the one that you're viewing is one that we have not been able to post yet. So that will be available in the recap. But I just wanted to make sure that people know that this may not be available currently to view on the website.
All right, so the spending dollar-wise between September 10th, which is the most recent one, and this one was about $500 billion. So it's a good percentage of the market, but at least you can get the gist of how the government's spending your money and understand how our search tool here works. So we understand NAICS codes, we understand PSC codes. Another way that we can find government contract is if we know a specific competitor. So we've published in our spending report the top vendors right on down the line. So obviously the top one, Optic Public Sector. This is a healthcare, $36 billion in awards. Lockheed Martin, McKesson. Again, if we are working in a specific market and we want to find out how the government is awarding contracts to our competitors, just for argument's sake, if I don't know a company name, I will put in an industry. So let's do cybersecurity. So every company, if I can spell it right, and I promise I'll be to the SamRadar specifics in a second. So if I know there's a company with cybersecurity in their name, what I can do is I can search cybersecurity, and I can look at cybersecurity, and I can see all the NAICS codes that contracting officers are using for cybersecurity, as well as all the PSC codes, as well as learn the specific companies that are receiving those awards. So for this particular search, again, cybersecurity is really tough with NAICS and PSCs. So this is where we turn right to companies with cybersecurity in their name, and we can start to define a path. All right, so that is the search tool. Again, it's available at samradar.com, and I will walk you through that. We go to samradar.com, we click on the resources tab, and this is the September 10th is the most recent one that we have posted. We click on the report here, and we scroll down to download the free report. So samradar.com, resources, September 10th spending report, and then download the free report, and it will open up to look again, just like this. Okay, so how does SamRadar use this information to help you find contracting officers and primes and program managers? I'm sorry. So basically what we do is we input a search into SamRadar, and this is a random one that I pulled up. Let's get one from today. So this is, I'm going to show you the search criteria, and then we're going to circle back to how it populates here. First, I have to log in. All right, so this is a random demo search that I have set up based on construction. So my NAICS code, which I used and found doing the search tool, my PSC codes, and we also let our users search on strategic keywords. And the reason we do keywords is sometimes a contracting officer or a program manager can publish something or award something under I don't want to say bogus, but under the wrong NAICS codes. So they try to hide it so they can say, hey, I'm posting this on sam.gov, but I'm posting it in the NAICS code for whatever. And they can tell 3 people, and that's how those 3 people will be the only ones that know it's there. Our system picks up keyword descriptions from the description paragraph on sam.gov or description posted on FPDS. Okay, so we do NAICS codes, we do PSC codes, we do keywords. We also let you search on place of performance, but that's in pretty rare circumstances. We don't encourage that because contracting officers that write awards in Virginia might also be doing them in Hawaii, Kuwait, Alaska, all over the world. So we encourage people not to limit their search by state because that's telling Sam Radar, only look for contracting officers who are awarding contracts here, and those are pretty rare as well. So once we've established our search criteria, we run our search, and then Sam Radar begins matching our search criteria that transactions that took place. Here's an example of a contract for $6,481. We don't get hung up a whole lot on the dollar amount. We do get hung up on the date. So this was just 2 weeks ago on September 27th. Our information is always recent. 2 weeks is probably about as far back as we'll ever go because we want it to be fresh in everyone's mind when they're reaching out. This was awarded by the Public Billing Service, delivery order, Amstar Inc. This was a contract modification, so it's just adding funding. Again, we don't get hung up on this. What we do get hung up on is the details of the contract. So for this particular contract award, John Morellian, who works for Public Billing Service, whose phone number is 817, etc. This is his email address. He awarded a contract in this market, 2 weeks ago. Obviously, our message to John is, hey, John, notice you just awarded a contract to Amstar Inc. For, it was a modification to an existing $300,000 contract. Again, all doesn't matter. My company does this, this, and this. Here's our capability statement. We'd love to talk to you about what else you have coming down the line that you could possibly be a part of. I noticed that you awarded this contract with only 2 offers. So therefore, I'm assuming you're looking for additional folks to bid on your upcoming projects. We'd love to see what you have. Attached, please find our capability statement. Again, please post any questions, any comments whatsoever in the Q&A, and we'll be sure to get to them. The other side of Sam Radar is we tell you about the prime contractor. So this would be a competitor because we're searching in the construction market. So what Amstar tells us is they could be a competitor or they could be a potential business partner looking for your service as a subcontractor. First thing we publish is their contacts. Okay, so if we wanted to reach out to Amstar, knowing that they have a government contract in their pocket, we have the ability to work under them as a subcontractor. We would reach out to Fernando Flores and Terry Flores. Here's direct phone number, extensions, and email address. We kind of want to get a feel for how big of a company Amstar is, so we publish their past 12 months awards. And all the contracts that they've received in the past 12 months. We can see they have 298 records. So in essence, they get a contract basically, almost every weekday. You'll notice that we do have some zeros in here. The zeros represent the contract amount on the last, it's a closeout. It adds a date, extends the date, whatever. Don't get hung up on the dollar amounts, get hung up on the number of contracts because they have relationships, obviously, with almost 300 contracts in the past 12 months. They're probably not a small business. Therefore, the government is going to require them to have a small business partner. I know I'm going through this really, really quick, but so we teach you about the contracting officer and we teach you about the prime. Also part of Sam Radar is if you have a specific competitor in mind that you would like to track. And by track, we mean anytime they get a new contract award, Sam Radar will send you a notification. And I'm going to, let's see what happened here. I'm going to show you an example of a prime match. So Parsons is a really big company in federal government contracting. For example's sake, I am monitoring Parsons. Every time they get a new contract award, I get a notification. So what this notification tells me was, obviously Parsons, if I'm monitoring them, there's someone I either want to do business with or go after the person that is awarding them contracts. Actually, that's not a good one because this contracting officer is trying to hide. So let's find another one. Here's another prime match. Parsons, imagine that. Let me find a better one. Okay, here's a prime example. Parsons is a really big company and they hide their contracting officers somehow, but University of Alaska Fairbanks, believe it or not, they get a ton of government contracts. This is a notification of a contract award that they received on October 4th. Obviously, we're monitoring them. They do a lot of research circulating around the ocean and water and the atmosphere. They received one contract this day, but the most important thing is Tammy Maher of NASA is the one that awarded them this contract. So knowing that she's awarding contracts to our direct competitor tells us that, hey, we can either go after her to compete with those folks, or we can go back to University of Alaska Fairbanks and say, hey, I noticed you folks received another contract award. We'd like to work with you to see what you have coming up that we could possibly, work with you as a subcontractor. Again, that's about it for Sam Radar. Actually, one more quick thing. I apologize. Another side of Sam Radar is anything that does reach sam.gov that matches any part of your search criteria, you would receive a notification just like this. I had a lot of justifications this time of the year, but at any rate, so here's a solicitation for the renewal of maintenance for demand technology performance, I'm going to assume. Basically what this is a marker that says something in your Sam Radar search just hit sam.gov. Here's the specifics of it. Here's basically it's just letting you know that something that matched your search hit on sam.gov, and you can get this marker. And the best part about this is when you click view on sam.gov, it takes you right to the posting on sam.gov. And you'll notice I didn't have to log in. No two-factor authentication. It took us right to the contract description. The links are here. The point of contacts are here. And it makes it real simple. We have two ways of sending these. The first one is the individual notifications, which can be overwhelming at times. We do give you the option of getting the individual notifications as such, or we can send you a summary. So basically, a summary is everything that matches. This gives you a listing of all the matches from, like, we send them in the morning and we send them at night. So the nighttime one gives you all the ones from the day. The morning one, all the ones that populated overnight. And I will open this up to any questions that anyone has. If you want me to look at a specific market, just go up to the Q&A and post your NAICS code or your industry in the chat, and we'll refer back to our little search thing here, and I can tell you all about your market. But I am going to again post my email is rob@samradar.com. Phone number is 202. Don't call me right now because I'm silent, but I will be available shortly.
Also, Rob, I actually just received the year-end spending report that you've been going over. So I'm going to post that link in the chat so you can download it here.
Okay. Let
me see.
All right. So someone just put the NAICS code 453210, and thank you, anonymous. 45. So when we go to, let me clear out this 453210. We can see that that is the government 284,000 contracts and spent $232 million in that space. This number looks right. this number looks wrong. This number should be like 1.5 billion. So what that tells you is if you're only searching on 453210, they might be awarding it under another NAICS code or PSC code or different combination. I hope that helps, Anonymous. Anyone else? If you have a NAICS code or a PSC code you want me to explore, I have to shut this down in about 3 minutes. So
yeah, I just wanted to touch on that for those of the folks that are looking at this. So it's very common as a SAMRadar user. So when I initially received and signed up with SAM, I didn't see that. So you have to be a little bit creative within, and there's another one there, Rob, for you, 339991. You have to be creative with not just only your NAICS code, but the combination of a NAICS code with a PSC, because in my realm of security and compliance, I didn't know that there was a specific PSC code. I was just going off NAICS, which could be a myriad of about 7 or 8 different 541 NAICS. So you really got to look at that, and look at the combination of PSC and NAICS to derive where you really need to be focused.
okay, so whoever had asked for and I apologize.
That was Gino Lehman looking for 339991.
All right, so to answer your question, here's 25,000 contracts, $150 million. In this industry, this number looks right. This number looks right also. So you are definitely on the right track with that NAICS code. Now, I'm also going to dive into we're going to look at gasket under PSC codes. And if you definitely want to write down 5330 as a PSC code, because that number went up to $198 million. So again, make sure that you're exploring all of your options, because there's a lot of leniency on the contracting officers and the program manager side to use whichever NAICS code and PSC code that they feel is right. So it's don't lock yourself into one specific NAICS or PSC code. All right, glad we can answer your question. So I'm going to.
We have one more.
Oh, okay.
From Chuck, it is 541512.
That is Kevin. You might be able to talk about that one a little bit.
Yeah, it's a broad. So for Chuck, you're gonna find 541512. We'll have a number of different PSC codes associated with that NAICS code, and it's true within the industry. I'm not sure what you do, but you'll see 541512, 54509. You'll see some of the 334s or some of the 423s as well. There's a lot of cross pollination between NAICS codes. So just understand that as you look through the report, the dollar amounts will be varied based upon those combinations.
Hey, Chuck, if you have a specific competitor that is receiving awards in your market, if you can post that in the chat, we can pull up their contract awards and see how which NAICS and which PSC codes the contracting officers they've already, to see how their contract awards are being classified, which NAICS codes, which PSC codes are their contracts being awarded under, because again, this NAICS code is very, very broad, like Kevin said, and there can be 50 different combinations because there's not a specific one. So, but what we can do is do computer design, computer systems design, just see if any company has that in their name, and maybe we can grab some intel here. Yeah. This is a pretty big report, and sometimes it hangs up a little bit. Actually, folks, I have to jump off here to start another meeting in 1 minute. Chuck, if you want to reach out to me, I just posted my email and my phone number in the chat. We can meet one-on-one. Anyone that's still here that wants to meet with us one-on-one, please send me an email. I will. Actually, I don't have time to do that. But
hey, Rob, just one last thing for folks that are on this. if you go over to the three dots on the far side of the chat screen and hit it and says save chat, it'll save all the messaging in there. So if you saw people you want to contact with or get into contact with, you'll have that in that save chat. Just open it up. It'll automatically save to your laptop, desktop, and then you can open it at a later time.
Yeah, so again, I have to end this rather abruptly. I want to thank everyone for coming today. Kevin, thank you as always. Audra, you're the best. And please reach out to me. My phone number, emails in the chat. And I look forward to meeting each and every one of you individually and helping you folks win some government contract awards.
All right.
Audra, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have to do a meeting at 12:30, but I'll reach out to you when I'm done. All right.
Sounds good. Talk to you
All right,
later. Bye.